In a passionate address at the UN General Assembly in New York, Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi boldly accused Saudi Arabia of betraying the Palestinian cause by considering normalizing relations with Israel. He unequivocally declared, "We're here to shed light on Saudi Arabia's actions that seem to forsake Palestine and Gaza." President Raisi emphasized that any regional ties formed with the intention of bolstering the security of the Zionist regime would ultimately fall short of their objective. His words echoed with resolute conviction, as he stood firm in his stance against such initiatives. In a pivotal shift, Saudi Arabia has engaged in its first-ever conversation regarding the Israel-Gaza conflict. This noteworthy development signals a significant change in Saudi Arabia's foreign policy stance, as it has chosen to postpone its plans for normalizing relations with Israel, a move previously supported by the United States. Two sources familiar with Riyadh's perspective have affirmed that this decision comes in response to the escalating Israel-Hamas conflict, reflecting a swift re-evaluation of the kingdom's foreign policy priorities. In the wake of the crisis, the kingdom's diplomatic maneuvers have extended to include Iran, as Riyadh seeks to prevent a broader regional escalation and unrest. Notably, Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi initiated his inaugural phone conversation with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, marking a significant shift in regional dynamics. The pivotal US-backed negotiations aimed at normalizing relations with Israel, a crucial component of the kingdom's aspirations for the benefits of a US defense alliance, will now experience delays, as confirmed by two well-informed sources who shared their insights with Reuters. Both Israeli and Saudi leaders had previously asserted their progress toward a transformative Middle East deal before the Iran-backed Hamas initiated a conflict on October 7th by attacking Israel. Prior to the recent conflict, sources had indicated that negotiations had been in motion. Saudi Arabia, a nation of great religious significance as the birthplace of Islam and home to its two holiest sites, remained resolute in pursuing a US defense pact, even in the absence of major concessions from Israel towards Palestinian statehood. Neglecting the Palestinian issue carries the risk of provoking anger among Arab nations, as Arab media frequently highlights the suffering of Palestinians in Israeli airstrikes. After the initial onslaught by Hamas on October 7th, which tragically claimed the lives of over 1,300 Israelis, Israel's continued strikes in Gaza resulted in the loss of more than 1,952 Palestinian lives by Friday. According to a source familiar with Riyadh's perspective, ongoing negotiations are not viable at this moment, and if they were to resume, the matter of Israeli concessions to the Palestinians would need to be given utmost priority. This intriguing development implies that Riyadh is carefully weighing the concept. Despite Reuters reaching out to Saudi authorities for comment via email, their inquiry remained unanswered, leaving an air of uncertainty. The Saudi reconsideration underscores the challenges Washington encounters in promoting Israel's acceptance in a region where the Palestinian cause remains a paramount concern for the Arab nation. Expanding upon the foundation laid by the historic Abraham Accords, which successfully normalized relations between several Gulf states, including the United Arab Emirates, is a central objective for Washington. During a White House briefing this week, U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan emphasized that while the normalization process remains active, the administration is currently prioritizing other critical matters. As per the information from a knowledgeable source, Washington exerted pressure on Riyadh this week to condemn the Hamas attack, but Saudi Foreign Minister Prince Faisal bin Farhan resisted this pressure. This account was confirmed by a U.S. source familiar with the situation. The ongoing regional crisis has also compelled the President of Iran and the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia to engage in their very first conversation, marking a notable development following the resumption of diplomatic relations between these Gulf nations in April, thanks to an initiative mediated by China. In a significant statement, the Saudi Crown Prince underlined Riyadh's determined commitment to addressing the issue. He conveyed that the kingdom is making every possible endeavor to engage with both international and regional stakeholders in order to de-escalate the situation. According to a senior Iranian source who conversed with Reuters, Raisi initiated the call with the clear objective of aiding Palestine and preventing the further escalation of conflict in the region. The official characterized it as an outstanding and promising conversation. In a significant revelation, a second Iranian official disclosed that the call, which lasted for an extensive 45 minutes, received the approval of none other than Supreme Leader Ali Hosseini Khamenei. During this conversation, the Crown Prince unequivocally voiced the kingdom's strong opposition to any form of civilian targeting and the loss of innocent lives. He emphatically reaffirmed Riyadh's unwavering commitment to championing the Palestinian cause. These sentiments were conveyed through a statement released by the Saudi government, though it did not provide any further elaboration regarding the specifics of the call. In a bid to alleviate tensions in various regions of the Middle East, Saudi Arabia has assumed a prominent role by spearheading a military coalition in Yemen, primarily targeting the Houthi rebels with affiliations to Iran. When questioned about Rezi's recent conversation with the Crown Prince, a senior U.S. State Department official reiterated that Washington maintains ongoing communication with Saudi leadership, underscoring the importance of these diplomatic engagements. The Saudi counterpart and U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken have engaged in multiple phone conversations. The U.S. government's request to its allies with connections to Iran, Hezbollah, or Hamas is to urge Hamas to cease its attacks, secure the release of hostages, prevent Hezbollah's involvement, and ensure Iran stays out of the conflict. Hezbollah, the armed group based in Lebanon and closely aligned with Iran, gained notoriety for its conflict with Israel in 2006. According to an informed source with insight into Saudi policy, Gulf states, including those with ties to Israel, expressed profound concerns over the possibility of Iran becoming entangled in a confrontation that could have far-reaching repercussions across the region. The events of the past week underscore the contrasting viewpoints held by Saudi Arabia and Iran regarding the region. As noted by Alex Vitanka, director of the Middle East Institute's Iran program in Washington, the Saudi perspective strongly emphasizes the importance of the region's progress towards economic development and enhanced regional cooperation, with Saudi Arabia leading the way. Iran's stance seems to prioritize an initial confrontation with Israel, stated Alex Vitanka. He further emphasized, "We believe that fostering connections between regional nations and the Zionist Authority would be viewed as a betrayal of the Palestinian people and their ongoing resistance." Issuing a stark warning on Monday, Rezi underscored that normalization of relations with the Zionist regime would not yield enhanced security. This served as a cautionary message against a potential normalization agreement between Saudi Arabia and Israel, a negotiation that the United States has been diligently mediating. Such an agreement, long coveted by Jerusalem, has the potential to carry profound implications for the entire Middle East. Several nations, including the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Morocco, Egypt, and Jordan, have successfully restored relations with Israel. While Riyadh has made efforts to ease tensions with Iran through China-mediated negotiations, Saudi Arabia and Israel have drawn closer, partially fueled by their shared animosity toward Iran's religious regime. According to Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the ongoing process of Saudi Arabia and Israel mending relations advances each day, with a clear recognition that the Palestinian issue remains of utmost importance. Just hours after this statement, President Joe Biden and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu addressed the matter during their meeting on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly in New York. Bin Salman's rare public remarks in English about the normalization effort have added an extra layer of optimism regarding its potential success. In an exclusive interview with Fox News, the de facto leader of Saudi Arabia, often referred to as Ayim, Bees, made a significant statement. He echoed his previous remarks to The Atlantic last year, emphasizing that Saudi Arabia no longer views Israel as an enemy, but rather as a potential ally with a multitude of shared interests to pursue together. Notably, the Crown Prince's stance towards Israel has been widely recognized as less adversarial than that of his father, King Suleiman.